Hi, welcome to the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners, August 14th, 9 o'clock a.m. meeting. I call this meeting to order. If you would at this time, silence all phones, electronic devices, anything that could interrupt the meeting, and we'll start off by standing up and asking Blue to do the invocation and remain standing for the pledge to the flag.
All right, everybody, please stand. Father, we come to you today as an assembly of men and women to conduct the business of the people. We ask for your wisdom, your justice, and your moderation. We ask that you watch over us, watch over all those that are not here today, and as always, do everything in your name and in your Son's name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What we need to do is adopt the agenda. Is there any changes or something we need to do to the agenda? If not, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Got a motion, got a second?
Second.
Got a second, all in favor? Thank you. No presentations today?
No, sir.
That's good. Mr. John, finance report.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, in front of you had the bank balances as of 4:30 of yesterday afternoon. All the funds are looking pretty good where there's no issue on finances side on anything in the bank balances. We'd like to point out in the investment pool, the general one got about $34,000 in interest last month. The special projects took on about $14,000 in interest. So we're getting pretty good interest returns on those investments. The second page, and we did get our tipping fees in. We did get our hosting fees, and our law SPLOS, T-SPLOS allocations are slightly higher than average. Your second page with your SPLOS and T-SPLOS commitments, I put the outfitting for the Durango, the 3 Coweta fire trucks, and that leaves us with $146,000 that we can have available to spend. T-SPLOS, we're negative $193,000, and that's there's an issue paper later regarding that one. But you do see we have the 3 commitments for the roads being done with T-SPLOS.
And
So can I ask a question there on the 2024 Lamig roads? That work hasn't been completed, has it?
No, sir, this is just committed. This is
Okay.
our match.
So they haven't sent an invoice asking for
No,
anything?
nothing at all from T-SPLOS yet. We'll use the $800,000 of LMIG money first, and then we'll use the T-SPLOS after the LMIG money is used up.
Okay. So this is just an outline of what we are
Great, just the commitments.
exposed to?
That's
Okay.
outstanding.
Right. That was it.
and where are we at with,
I was going to address that in the next one.
what's that?
I was going to address that one during department heads. I knew you were coming
Oh,
back.
if you want to wait and do that, that'd be fine. This I've been asking for a year and a half. So that'd be great. Well, you can do it under department heads. That'd be fine. Anything else on the finance report? If not, we'll move right on. We're gonna go right into department heads.
I just want to say, well, good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
In the building and zoning, my planning commission meeting is Monday night, and we have a gentleman coming before us to rezone 184 acres on Road Road for industrial. And I'd like for you guys to attend if you can, because it's something that needs to happen, but I do believe there might be some people that wants to speak against it as well. But, it's understandable, because, that, it's near their houses and stuff. But then again, it's also in the industrial area, so I just, would like for you guys to come, and if you can, and listen to what has to be said, because it, to our folk. So if you don't mind on that.
What was the date again? Date and
Monday night at 6 here. And then my department's doing very well. We've issued about 29 permits to date, this month. That's all permits, electrical, plumbing, yes, every permit. And we are steadily issuing, new homes, which is really good. So other than that, I just want to say everything is going pretty well. Thanks.
All right. Which other department head, Mr. John? Go ahead.
Is there, on the finance side, to address the one for waste management, I have got that information from waste management for the last 6 quarters. I'm in the process of going through that information, do an internal audit on them. It was brought up in the Water and Sewer Authority meeting that they've asked for contracts from the Water and Sewer Authority. I knew that was coming because I asked for the internal audit for us. Water and sewer has an issue. They think they're not getting their fair share. They think they should get $1.50. They're getting $1.46. So I need to get our contract from the county side to see what our dollar amount should be as well, to see if we're on the same page. But I do have that data. I am sorting through it and auditing them for over the last 6 quarters, going 23 into 2 quarters for this year.
And is that normally how the audit works? Instead of we having a team go out there and look at their stuff, they just send us what they want to send us?
I spoke to their financial specialist that does everything, and everything they have out there now is electronic. So when the truck comes across, it shoots a ticket automatically to their machine. She told me I could go out there and pull those tickets, but I will be out there for weeks and weeks and weeks to pull every single ticket. But every time a truck comes across that machine, it spits an automatic ticket into their machine. And I have all that data now in an Excel spreadsheet. I just have to sort it and go through it. They kind of dumped a lot of data on me, and I expected that.
Yeah, I did too.
Because if you ask for something, they're going to give you more than what you asked for and let you sort through it. But I am working on that along with the budget. The budget process has begun with all the department heads and the constitutional officers. I'm down to 3 departments, and we should wrap that up this week and hopefully have something to the board by the following week, at least by the next meeting and be in your box for your review.
That'd be great. At least we're getting somewhere.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Randy is at a GRPA state meeting today. Randy Carter with Recreation is at a GRPA state meeting today. He has also issued his football schedule, which you guys have at your desk. He will have a cookout out in Woodbury on August the 22nd. It's a Thursday at 6 p.m. He invites everybody to come out here. Animal Control has been working on their Humane Society grant. We are getting additional information to the Atlanta Humane Society to submit the information for it. And then Planning and Zoning has had 2 meetings with the IDA about incoming projects and talking with their builders and contractors. So a lot of work been going on.
Any other department heads? No citizen comments?
No, sir.
So we'll go right into approve the minutes from the July 22nd, 2024 work session at 4:00 p.m. You've got a chance to look over them. Anybody notice any changes that need to be done? If not, we'll have a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor? Right on. Also, the minutes for the July 23rd, 2024 regular meeting at 6:00 p.m. Is there any changes that need to be corrected in those minutes? If not, do I have a motion?
Make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Okay. Got a motion, got a second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. And then the August 1st special call meeting at 9:00 a.m. Minutes. Got a motion to approve those minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Got a second?
I wasn't here, so somebody else will have to second it.
You got a second? He wasn't here that meeting.
Do what?
He wasn't here at that meeting. I need a second on the
Second, I
minutes.
second.
Thank you. All in
Move
favor?
that thing up there.
What's that? All in favor? There we go. All right. Do we have a public hearing? No public hearing?
Minutes.
No, sir.
Appointments?
No, sir.
So we're gonna go right on into now, the unfinished business, the pay scale, salary employees. Think that'd be you, John?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. This was tabled from last meeting because all 5 commissioners were not here. I didn't know if the board would like to table it again since all 5 commissioners are not here, or I can present it for the board consideration.
If we can table it one more time, I would love for everybody to be here. I don't want nobody to be left out, but it's up to the board whether y'all want to move forward or table it. If everybody's fine with moving forward, I mean,
Yes, sir. I just know last time they tabled it because all 5 members, and I just,
the table it last time, you wasn't here. I wasn't here. Are you gonna table it for me? Well, I'm here. No, but Brian's not here, so it's up to the board's wishes. Should we move on with it or table it one more time for the 6 o'clock meeting?
I've not heard either way from Commissioner Threadgill whether he wanted us to wait or go ahead. It's up to the rest of the board. I'm fine either
I
way.
think we should just table it again. They tabled it for you. I would table it
Let's do it, because with his schedule, the morning meeting was tough, but I'm sure we'll just schedule it for the next 6 o'clock meeting.
Yes, sir, that's
and
fine.
we're doing it.
Okay.
So we all need to try to be here.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'll only say the next 6 o'clock meeting, you guys are gonna have to answer, you're gonna have 2 rezoning items there. So that's gonna be a big meeting, so, could it hold the first meeting in?
We could.
Yeah. Well, we're going.
Just give you guys, more opportunity to hear, because there's gonna be a crowd here, I think, for this public hearing.
So table to the September the 11th meeting. So I make a motion to table to the September 11th regular meeting.
Is that a Tuesday or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Because we're fixing to change our date starting next month to the second Tuesday and the fourth Tuesday of each month at 6 o'clock. So,
But
I think that's gonna require ordinance change.
oh, we gotta have ordinance change.
It won't take effect that fast.
Okay, so, yes, ma'am. Go ahead with your motion.
I second her motion.
He seconded it. All in favor? All right, so it's scheduled for that meeting. But is that the 9 o'clock or 6 o'clock?
9
9
a.m.
o'clock.
That's
That's
gonna,
right.
that's gonna make it tough again for Brian with his schedule, so
It needs to be, Mr. Chair, I can give him the information ahead of time, and that way he can look over it, and if he has any questions, that way the board can discuss them, and we can
that'd be good.
move forward with that.
All right,
I just know your next meeting is gonna be.
yeah, you're right.
oh,
Yeah.
Okay, so that got moved on. And that was to, that was what date?
September 11th.
9/11.
Update on discussion of office space.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, the last meeting you guys were talking about, office space use. At that time, you guys said you'd like to get a little more information about, we talked about 3 properties in general. And what we provided you guys with is just some additional information. Went back and reviewed all the leases and deeds and everything associated with that. So what I have is a report on the gymnasium we talked about, on the West Georgia Tech building, what that is, and also a report on the DFAC building. And this is really just today for y'all's information, and we're going to need to set up another meeting to talk further with that. But it's a pretty large packet of information that you guys have. And it just kind of outlines everything and all the ins and outs of each of those properties. Of course, since this was written just in the last day or so, we've had a few changes on some of this that I'll talk to you guys about in the executive session.
Okay. And on that note, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, whatever, you or Jared or what were supposed to get with DFACs and see about meeting, going over there to the old Pathways building and so forth. Did all of that get taken care of?
No, sir. Commissioner Threadgill was going to reach out to DFACs, but when I checked with him earlier this week, he has not done that yet. We are still going to be following that up to set that up.
If I recall from the minutes of the meeting, what, he was gonna maybe reach out to him, but I think Jared was still here. We had asked for y'all to get with him and schedule an appointment and get it done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But when the commissioner said he was going to do it, I didn't want to overstep and step on his toes. Or any commissioner's toes, not just his.
So can we do it as a staff to get this done
Yes, sir.
and not wait on? I mean,
Yes, sir.
I understand what you were doing, but it's
Sure.
been 2
Yes,
more
sir.
weeks, so
Absolutely.
let's go. Okay.
Yeah, that needs to be done before the next meeting.
And can I ask a question about this
Yes, sir.
Woodbury Gym? I guess for you and legal, since y'all are most familiar with this, but as we sit now, and I understand there's some changes possibly we'll discuss later, but this says there's a 90-day notice from either side to be able to, terminate the lease.
Right.
As it stands with the school board, to the best knowledge now, is currently in a contract to sell the building, the school.
I heard yesterday that it's not going to that.
Yeah, it's.
At that time, if it still is, or if they enter into a new one without our knowledge,
Right.
does the 90-day notice to terminate still apply with the new owner? Because the school board could have closed and sold that building without our knowledge, and do we still have 90 days to rearrange our recreation activities?
You know,
And if not, we need that addressed somehow.
You know, the lease, I mean, you're stuck with the language of the lease until
Okay.
both parties want. I mean, you can't renegotiate a contract until.
Unless we do it now,
Well,
if we
unless
get
both-
agreement to do it.
Yeah,
Or,
both, if both y'all agree, you can do whatever you want.
so I think, based on their actions of the attempt to sell it out from under us without the 90-day notice potentially, we need to maybe go to the table with them to see, can we renegotiate that part?
You can get a.
Well, we need to get some plans
right of
now
first
for-
refusal
Yeah.
Is an option if y'all are interested in, I mean, it's up to the board what y'all are interested in.
Okay. That puts us in a tough spot with the children and the county citizens.
It does. When I looked at this, I mean, it says 90 days, and, you know, I guess the issue with it, we could challenge it, but if you challenge it, you only get it for 90 more days, and it just.
Yeah, that's not enough really, even in the
That's right.
season, but that's
Well,
better than what we were
also have some of
getting.
these other leases that I would say are not necessarily favorable to the county, and we probably need to look at those too.
Yes.
You know, I always, when I dealt with like state leases, I always built in a CPI or something to increase it. These don't have the CPI at all. And honestly, like on the DFAX building, it doesn't give us, other than breach of contract by them, it doesn't give us any exit, you know, clause from it. It's kind of odd.
Yeah.
And I would say when we renegotiate that, we need some more information in there to protect us, including some escalation of rents if, you know, going forward, if we do it for multiple years. Because right now, we're stuck in what we are.
Yeah, or just have them not be that long and forces
That's right.
you to look at them every so often.
Right, that's what we need.
What happens is you forget you have them in place.
Right.
And it's not y'all, it's everybody. I mean,
Yeah,
it's everybody in the world.
It needs to be
I mean,
shorter
my
terms.
dad's let, you know, tenants stay for like 10 years without return.
So how do we address that with these three then?
What we'll do with it is again, we're going to talk and, you know, try to give you guys a little bit more detail on some of the things that have transpired. And we need to decide, like, for example, DFAX and what we're going to do, and I'll be sure we can take care of that meeting. And then if we're going to do that, then we need to negotiate a new lease with them, is what we need to do. And that lease needs to have some things that protect us as well as them. It's a really one-sided lease right there. And
That's what the state will give you if you.
yeah, that's right. You take it, but we always like to, you know, have them agree to some of our terms too. So we'll do that. But any of these things we rework here, so in the near future, we'll make sure that.
Do you need that copy or
No, you got it.
can I have mine back then?
I'm sorry. I wanted to study your notes.
Hey, you got one.
All right, then, well, then some of that stuff, like you said, real estate and so forth may fall under executive session, and we'll discuss it too, but,
I tried to just do an analysis on each of these, where y'all didn't have to read all those documents. And you see, that's a lot of good reading.
yeah, very much. We'll go right on number 3 there, courthouse roof proposal discussion.
Okay, yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners. You've got a packet in front of you that has a summary of the roofing work and discussions today. In summary, there's only about a $12,000 difference between the two bids that we have received. One comes back in and does some overlay and spots over the existing roof. Another one comes in and then removes the existing roof and then puts down new material. After we got in these two bids, not knowing which would be best, we reached out to an engineer, an architect with GMC in Dothan, Alabama. His recommendation, after coming out here and visiting, and he visited with Commissioner Collins, John Gordon, Matthew Brown, and myself, and Mike Hamrick, and who's the architect. And his essential recommendation is he wants us to reconsult with a company that they have used in other places and in other buildings. That is certainly an option if the board wants to go to it. But what we can do, one of the two options that
He wants us to consider the other companies he's worked with?
Yes, sir.
Well, I thought the purpose for him to come out as an engineer is just to lay out what he thinks needs to be done.
Yes, sir. And that was his recommendation.
And so what was his recommendation?
He said neither to him, without knowing additional details of both of the bids, he can't
No,
really
I'm
make.
saying, you said the engineer came out to look at it.
Yes,
We
sir.
sort of thought an engineer would come out and look at it to
Yes,
begin
sir.
with before, so we know what we're dealing with. So if he came out to look at it as an engineer, he should be giving us a recommendation of what he thinks needs to be done to the.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. On your second
Not
page.
recommending us to go use somebody that he
Yes,
uses.
sir. Yes, sir. I understand and I agree.
See,
But
I've
he
been
did
long enough,
recommend.
everybody wants to pad their pocket, and we ain't got
Right.
that kind of money, so we want to get it fixed.
Yes,
So I'm
sir.
just asking,
Yes, sir.
what is his recommendation?
His recommendation is to consult with another company and then bring them in to do the work.
And we paid him for that?
No, sir.
Thank God.
No,
Okay.
sir. In discussing both of these bids that we've received, neither one of them truly address it directly. Both of them have different ways to go about it. What I would like to recommend to the commission is that you guys pick an amount that you're comfortable with, not to exceed, and then we go back and negotiate with both of these companies to work on their specific specialty. One of them has a specialty with standing seam roof, which is what the engineer said was probably in very good condition. But the other one has better experience with a membrane and then an overlayment that can then go in the areas that the engineer did identify have some problems, which are mainly the parapets and the gutters.
Did these bids arise from this being advertised?
Yes, sir.
And
These were the only two responsive bids that we've received.
Yes, sir.
If I could just fill you guys in on a couple of things from my perspective with it. I presented this information to you guys here a few meetings ago, and I told you I'd try to see about getting some assistance. My plan to getting assistance was to have them take a look at the two bids we had and give us the thoughts and ideas on the best product. We had one which was a paint-on-one, which is a TPO membrane roof. Called a friend of mine who's an engineer. He got the architect who's came up, and he, at no charge, came looked at. Also looked at the tax bill of goods too while I was here, by the way. Again, at no charge. I was not able to make the meeting that we're speaking of. We were dealing with COVID for a while, still are. But anyway, we do have two outstanding bids that are there. Before we venture too far, if we're going to negotiate with them, I think that's fine. But if we are going to kind of go a different direction, before we do that, we probably need to reject those bids and just get them off the table because they've been out there for a while now. I'd like an opportunity for maybe Blue and I to sit back down with the architect one more time, because really what I was getting into is not having him tell us how to redo all these things, but these companies that we're dealing with are experienced roofing companies too. And I just kind of like to get his thought on which of those proposals is best. And if we can go back and meet with each of them, kind of get a feel of it, and fine. If we come back and we're not satisfied with either, then we can look at it again and have you guys reject it and go back out and do whatever we want to do. We had a lot of interest in it in the beginning, a lot of people coming. But once they saw it, see, we didn't have architectural plans or engineering drawings. We just had them all up there to say, look at it, tell us how you would fix this.
Right.
And so we didn't spend the money up front for architect or engineering, which is fine. But, I still think we just got some more work. And I'm sorry, I just couldn't make that meeting that day. I know Mr. Collins was there.
Yeah, I went and I got up there and looked and, you got some flat areas on the roof and then on each porch, there's 4 porches, there's like 2 catch basins on each side of the porch, and those are definitely leaking. And all the water off the roof goes to those catch basins, and then it dumps out in the gutters. So it could be a problem with not improper drainage, water sitting up there.
So after talking with Lee, we know that there is improper drainage coming from the downspouts.
I
We
think
know that
all
is part of it.
The sand and seam roof to me looks fine. I don't see how it's leaking. It looks like it's leaking in the flat spots.
We're going to get the
Maybe resealed or something.
company.
I had a guy tell me he could do what they call a bird's eye view and blow up the top of the roof, and he could identify like the catch basins. If you want something done to those and something done to the flat roof and clean the gutters out, then you can get more of an accurate bid on what needs to be done.
Well, that's
In
what,
that bird's eye view, to do that would be $150, and that way everybody could see what what needed to be done, you know.
I don't think, I'm not in favor of approving either one of these contracts to start working at an issue that we don't even know what it is yet.
We would have to bring it back to you for approval.
When I don't even think you do that till you get an engineer to come in and tell us why is it leaking and where is it leaking. I don't want another company going in there or multiple companies going in there and thinking they're experts in certain areas and there's no definitive root cause of what's going on. We're just fixing that things and all that does is move water to another location. We need somebody to come in. I don't know what that cost is and we probably won't like it. But somebody needs to be able to tell us with absolute certainty, here is your problem and this is what it's going to take to remedy it. That's the first money we spend. Exactly. After that, we get reasonable quotes and then agree to what we want to do. If not, we're just throwing good money after bad and we're going to be chasing this for years.
If we have those engineering reports you're speaking of, we can put that in as the specification.
Yes.
For the bid.
And that's the proper way, because this engineer says, does not believe the water is coming from the copper standing seam panels. Flat section of the roof does have some bad spots. It's under a 2-year warranty. Well, let's get that fixed from that contractor. Touring the rooftop, third floor courtroom, believes most of the infiltration is coming from the dome. We're not even talking about the dome. So one engineer just coming out and looking at some things has pointed out a few things that nullify both quotes we got here from them. So I think we need this gentleman or someone comparable to him to come out and say, here's what the problem is. And whether we like it or not, that's what your problem is. And we got to figure out how to address it. But just blindly going out and giving people some money and a time frame to fix things, I'm not in favor of that.
That'd be the best way to do it.
And with that being mentioned, I think Commissioner Collins said something. Have you reached out to principal yet?
Yes, sir.
When they come?
I don't know. He hadn't returned my call yet, but it is a 2-year warranty.
Well,
When did you reach out to him?
Earlier this week.
And he hadn't called back?
No, sir.
We need to
And we
reach
call
out
him
to
back.
them before the warranty. We've
Exactly.
had that happen before.
Exactly.
When the warranty expires, we're out of luck. So we need
Yes, sir.
to calendar that.
be documented of the date of contact so that it was inside the
Well, what I'm
warranty.
saying is, I don't understand what's taking him so long. Did you follow up, call again?
I haven't yet, no, sir, but I will.
Yeah.
But it
Call
needs
him
to
every
be
day if you have to.
Sure.
Yeah, just send an email, print the email out, put it in the file, and then if he doesn't respond, reply to that same email, following up on this email, print that out, put it in the file.
So can we,
Because you said it was, some of the stuff they did, it's got cracks all in it, you know. And what did we pay the principal back when they did all that? Anybody remember? I think that was.
a couple $100,000.
I don't think so.
Everything's
They'll come back out.
It may be something.
Well, they got to return the phone call.
I'll call Jay.
Okay. All right,
So
well, let's
can-
get them definitely on that, so that part's not part of our issue.
So can we make sure this is on the next agenda to cover this again, to make sure we got confirmation, documentation of the contact with them inside the warranty period? We may not have a date yet, but at least we know we're covered. And then can we have something, staff go ahead and go out and be finding an engineering firm or some sort to give us a cost, or we want to approve it or not, to give us the real issue in the courthouse?
Do you have to put that out for bid?
Not necessarily, it's professional services.
But I mean, is it possible we can get both of those done before our next meeting and say, here, what we think it'll cost, or what? Is that
But
reasonable?
we definitely need to get this going. We got to get this going. We've been talking about a leak for a long time.
A lot of
can't
problems
move on
get
with
worse
those.
over time.
It's getting worse. You know, it's getting worse, and we need to, that's a historic building for this county. We have got to get it solved, fixed, and preserved. But
Until we stop water intrusion, we have to, there's nothing else we can do, right? Stop that first. We also need to take a look at, and maybe while we got an engineer out to do that too. We had some flooding in the basement, the elevator shafts and whatever. And I'm about 90% certain it is groundwater. It's coming back up from the stormwater drainage. But we need to fix that as well. So while we're out, I may ask him to take a look at it.
I would, yeah, everything we think it could be, have him look at every scenario, and in their educated, expert, professional opinion, here's what you need to do.
But you could actually find somebody else that's an expert with that,
Yeah.
necessarily
Yeah.
a roof guy, because that's probably going to get into where we're probably going to have to dig around the basement of the courthouse.
Possibly. I'm hoping that.
If the drainage has probably got roots or,
it's probably collapsed.
It's collapsed, it's not draining. The only way to fix that is dig around it, replace it, retar it.
It could be water running out the gutters and getting in the basement.
It could be, because some of the windows are a little gray.
Oh, well, there you go.
So we just need to look at a lot
I
of
think the
things.
first deal is with the roof
But,
fix.
yeah.
Right.
And we've done some interim work with that. When the water came into the basement initially, Lee got Roto-Rooter out there to open up the storm drain, and that helped it, but that's just a temporary fix until something clogs it back up again, so.
Yeah, I mean, it could be if, buts, candy, and nuts. Let's get somebody to figure out what it really is.
Move accident. Right.
Good.
Do we need to reject formally as a board these
Unless you want to keep them
quotes?
open.
I tell you, let's keep them open until we get the engineer to tell us what's what. And I would think their scope of work is gonna probably increase, and at that time.
We'll reject and go from
And
there.
we'll send out to you. Because he comes back and says, hey, man, this one.
Yeah, on the outside chance that it's good, you know?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right,
oh, yeah.
outside.
Because the price will go up, definitely, because of inflation, yeah.
I think we're looking at a bigger scope of work.
And I'd rather them give us a price instead of us telling them what we're willing to spend, you know, because then they gonna, we want it done right. We don't want it done to fit our budget. We want it done right.
Yeah, you'll be doing it again if you don't.
Do we want to get that guy to go up and give us a bird's eye view of it? I mean, he said he'd give us a bird's eye view of it.
$150 is worth, if that ain't no money, so if you want to put that in a motion to get that done, go ahead.
Yeah, I make a motion, we let him do the bird's eye view and give us a quote on what he thinks needs fixed.
I'll agree with it if you put not to exceed $150 or $200.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said he'd do it for $150. It wouldn't hurt for that to get passed right on down to whoever else is coming
Yeah,
out.
here's what I'd like, and I think we have some of that, maybe. I know one time we flew a drone over the top of it, but, you know, we had that, and we had the view that he's talking about, and pass it on to the engineers too. And that way they'll have
Well, I'm sorry, we got a motion on the floor. Did you second that?
I'd say it if we had not to exceed $200.
All right.
I don't want to be I don't want you to be misled and then we end up paying more, so.
Got a second. All in favor? Thank you. Yeah. Whether do you know how to give him the contact or you want to contact him? Just get that done and we'll add it to the
I'll
files.
give it to Blue Wing and take care of it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll move right on then to discussion of moratorium for section 32-21, a waiver to animal limitations.
Yes, sir, Chairman, Commissioners. Back on April 10th, y'all approved a moratorium on the limit on animal, waiver of animal limitations. This was requested so that we could get staff time to make a couple of adjustments. And what we have done is, in addition to following up with the state of Georgia and looking at some of their recommendations and some of their limitations, we went back and looked at section 3221. It is, and we have added a section D and E, and basically what it does is it adds limitations to it based on the weight limit of the dogs and the size of the parcel. So the bigger the dog, the less of them, and the smaller the dog, they can have a few more. And we are just adding this to the ordinance for you guys to consider for the limitations, or the waiver for the limitations. Another option.
And what's those numbers?
So it's in your packet. It is.
Chevy chart.
It's the yes, ma'am, yes, sir. It's the chart.
It's like 4 pages.
It's based on
About the middle of your packet. There you go.
The chart's based on acreage as well as size of dogs by age according to what the state says is an adult dog. This would give a more consistency to when people come in for asking for limitations for kennels and breeding. This will allow you to have a more consistent vote when it comes to size of the lot compared to, an 8 acre, 25 acre, or 50 acres or whatever. It just gives you a limitation, a chart. that
So
you
this
go
is
by.
guided more to breeders.
Breeders.
How many litters they have and so forth, not just individuals.
No.
citizens only.
This is just for kennel and breeding and pet dealers. This is
Okay.
not your average cattle person that may have 5 cattle dogs. It's
Okay.
not that. This is for people who actually board and breed and sell dogs.
This is tied in with the state regulations
Yes,
as
ma'am.
well, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So,
One of the things that I'd spoken to Sandra about, I guess just very recently, was right now our animal control ordinance kind of stems around people who have their own personal dogs, like myself, and I think that's where some of our limits come into play. And I think the chart they developed here is good. But I think that probably needs more to be, in my opinion, I haven't worked on it at all, what these guys have. But my concern is that rather than maybe put this in, is maybe use this as a guide. And when you have someone come in for a kennel, use this as a guide, but make it a condition of the zoning as opposed to just a chart that you automatically have to go by. Because you can have like 20 acres, and if it's that wide and runs forever, that's not nearly, as usable as a square 20 acres. So there's a lot of factors that go in that. And I'd like to suggest that we maybe give it to your next meeting or so, and I would extend the moratorium. Moratorium is technically expired. I would extend that to a date certain, and we'll sit back down and talk about it, and we'll get our attorneys involved in it too.
Do we want to extend that just to the next meeting, or we want to extend that for like another 90 days, or?
Yeah,
you know,
let's
put a
extend
timeline?
it for,
You can always end it early.
yeah, you can.
We don't want it for the next night meeting, that's for sure, so.
No, not next meeting.
So another 30 days would be fine.
30 days. Does that need to be in the motion?
Yes.
Since it's, yeah.
Yes.
And what you really need to say probably, Nathan, is a date certain,
Yeah, you
right?
have to say a date certain for the moratorium.
Yes, so.
I think if they said 90 days from today's date, that'll work.
That'll work too, yeah.
Yeah, like you said, we can always end it early.
You can always
Always end
end
it
it, you
early.
can call a meeting tomorrow and end it early.
We have a motion to extend the moratorium for 90 days.
So, sorry, what was the date of the original moratorium?
August the 8th.
obviously.
So it's 90 days from today's date.
Yeah.
Okay. Cassandra said she doesn't want 90 days.
Yeah, but
No,
we-
90 days is fine. I
You
just
just don't
need
want it to take that
earlier.
long. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
But
All right.
90 days is fine.
I'll make a motion to extend moratorium for 90 days from August 14th, 2024.
I got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second, all in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
All right, we're gonna go right on into new business. The first thing there is request from Wargo's Pumpkin Patch to temporarily close Johnson Road beginning September 21st, 2024 until November the 3rd, 2024 for the times requested.
Yes, sir. Wargo's Pumpkin Patch is requesting the temporary closure of Johnson Road. It's for the specific dates and times to ensure safety during their pumpkin patch hours. This is pretty standard. We do this every year.
Been doing it every year.
But it would be for those times as follows: Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 noon, and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., with Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. This would be starting September 21st, 24, and run through November 3rd.
Right. With him having, we do it every year, and it's a good thing. A lot of people come out to it, but with him having times, who's closing it and unclosing it and unclosing it? Is he gonna drag the barriers out, or we
Yes,
have to
they
pay
do.
county
They'll put
employees?
the barriers out.
What's that?
They'll put the barriers.
Okay.
out.
I just wanna make
And
sure we
there's another
wasn't,
road down the thing that's just right next to it, so.
Yeah, it's a little short
never
strip.
any- Yeah.
I just wanna make sure we wasn't sending county employees out there to do it, undo it, do it, and undo it, and paying them. If that's the case, he'd have to pay us.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they put them out, take them up.
Is there gonna be any kind of notice put out on the other roadways before you get there, or in the paper, or?
We could.
I don't think they ever have in the past.
We could go.
Well,
I think they advertise the opening of their pumpkin patch, but I don't think they've put anything in there about
Well,
that.
I think we need to advertise it to the citizens, so, I mean, all it takes is one person to go out there and be upset out of their, because they had to change their routine, and,
Yeah, we can put on our website too, that it'll be closed.
yeah, just, I mean, I think something simple, but just, okay.
We did a motion to approve this temporary closing on Johnson Road.
I'll make a motion to honor the requested closure of Johnson Road
I got a motion.
dates.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second, all in favor? Thank you. Number 2, T-Splosh spending recommendation.
Yes, sir, Commissioners. In front of you have an action paper, and behind that is supporting documents of what we have spent on gravel The first 2 pages are over the last 6 weeks, and the third one is from Thompson Trucking, where we spent gravel starting January of 2024. So for the past several months, or probably 7 months now, we spent $579,256.08 on gravel, with $477,872.64 going to Thompson Trucking and $101,383.44 going to RKO. This totals, in the last 6 weeks, we have spent about $157,000. Our allocation is roughly 133 to 140, so we're spending our allocation on T-Splosh on gravel. Finance recommends that we got projects outstanding. Let's finish up those projects, see where T-Splosh is currently at with the commitments. It's roughly going to take 2 to 3 months to build that surplus back up. We got patching by tons coming out. Also will be T-Splosh, so that's going to be another commitment. Now, finance is not saying if the road needs gravel, don't gravel it. By all means, if a road needs gravel, gravel it. We'll pay for it and get it done, but we recommend that whatever projects we have going on.
We're putting gravel on it because it needs it.
Yes. And let's get the projects that they're working on done, and Bill Cawthorn's out, and I don't know what is outstanding, how much is out there, waiting to be paid. I know Barry and Bill said they are working on a few last roads they know that needs to have gravel done on it, and then they're fine with paving or stop graveling. They got other projects they can work on. And I told them, I was like, let me run it through the commissioners, get their approval. But if a road definitely needs to have gravel on it, definitely put it on there. We'll pay for that out of T-Splosh, but
We're not talking about routine maintenance. We're talking about when we go in and redo the road and everything, which it's been a good program. I mean, we've got a lot of good feedback on that. But
Oh, it's been going great, yeah.
yeah, and you can see from that detail, they list out every road that has had gravel put on it and the supporting documents, so you'll know which roads have been gravel on dirt roads.
So I was under the impression, and evidently it was the wrong impression, that the money for these gravel projects was coming from the interest we were earning in the other accounts, was why we were able to do that.
The T-Splosh is the only one you can use on that one. They're roughly about 10 to 15,000 a month in interest is where that's coming from. Your general fund interest can only be used on operating and maintenance of the general fund.
we had some additional dollars in T-Splosh. If that's what we utilized before. I think what we've done now is we still have dollars in T-Splosh, we're just in a cash flow.
Yes, it's just if all three of those commitments came in, we'll be 200,000 shy. So I would like to get that back into a surplus just to meet those commitments. And then when the ton by patching comes in, we'll have sufficient funds to pay those bills as well.
There's a few invoices and bills, yes. We'll get out, I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Any other questions or concerns?
My only thing is, I mean, they're doing a good job, but it just looks like to me, maybe they put down a little too much on some of these roads. I mean, some of these roads you can't only drive on because the gravel's so big. I mean, if they go in, I went out yesterday and looked at both crews, and they were pulling the ditches and drowning the roads, but they're not putting any gravel on there. But I mean, looks like to me they could, when they do the road, grade it right, and put down a small amount of gravel. It sort of works in with the dirt over time and packs the road down, and the road will last. But now we have used all the gravel up, so to speak, on some roads, and now they're grading and no gravel. So if it were to start raining again, we'd be in the same mess again.
We'll make it happen. If it starts getting muddy, and I'll do it.
Well, that thing I was gonna ask, and Bill's not here, I think there was 2 or 3 roads that was gonna get some serious attention for the school buses before we get into our fall, winter, rainy season that definitely had to be addressed.
Correct, Mr. Chairman. And that's what Barry and Bill both illustrated to me. They had a few more on the list that need to be done before school. And I told them, get that one done as quick as you can. Let's finish up those projects, get the important ones done. And then if the board would, consider pausing unless the dirt road absolutely needs it, just so we can build those funds back up.
Just to clarify, this is current T-Splosh on hand, and then we got an issue of renewal out there. This is not making any of those, additional future funds, just current dollars.
Might be cheaper to invest in the sign somebody sent me. There's 2 signs. It says muddy when wet and dusty when dry, and we'll just start putting that on. No, we gotta take care of them. I just saw that. I thought it was funny way to.
But Commissioner Woodley, for your, T-Spots, when I came on, was running like 1.8 million, and that was just the surplus of the money going in, and then they started the gravel, since it's going straight on the dirt road, it can be used T-Spots dollars for. So there was abundance of funds in T-Spots, and now we've reallocated Spots to T-Spots, and that's where the commitment lies now. So the funds have been used for dirt roads as T-Spots recommends and use.
But also, a lot of the way we're paying for T-Spots is because they're bringing the gravel out to the road.
Correct.
And spreading it, and we get to use T-Spots.
Correct. That's the only way we can use T-Spots.
We can still, out of the general fund, have rock
Yes.
stockpiled like we used to, and then take a county truck over there and spread
Correct.
it.
We just can't use T-Spots unless they
Just
physically
can't
put it
use
on the road.
T-Spots. Okay, just want to clarify that. Okay, but as long as we do what we have to do,
Yes,
what's
sir.
necessary, that'd be great.
So what action does the board need to take on this?
I think just concurrence with us all, you don't need to vote.
No, just to make the board aware that if the board's okay to have these projects finished up, and if a road really needs gravel, we'll get it either through T-Splosh or through the general fund, and we'll take care of that. I just want to make the board aware that we are spending over our allocation of T-Splosh funds, putting gravel on roads, and, the dirt roads need it. I'm not questioning that at all. I mean, but if we can pause to let that get back up into a positive, we'll be better off financially
Yes,
to
sir.
get these roads done when they really need them.
All right, thank you. Number 3, E911 confirmation expenditure for the fiscal year 24 and allow the chair to sign.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. This was something I was not aware of that had to be done for county. I submitted the audit report to the Department of Audits and Accounts, DOAA. They came back with their recommendation letter from the audit. We had 2 items that needed to a correction action plan for budget balances. I have one, I got to write one. And the third one was the E911 confirmation of expenditures with the chair to sign. This is just a required document from the state, just saying that what we spent on E911, we are confirming that those numbers are accurate and true to the best of our knowledge. It requires my signature and the chair to sign.
Any further discussion?
How do these expenditure items line up with the budget that we prepared for them?
On the last sheet of that one, Commissioner, you'll see that 911, they're actually in the general fund, but we allocate those to a special revenue fund, 215, for E911 expenditures. In relation to the budget, I believe they were under budget last year. I haven't did their budget this year. We'll be doing that with Mr. Brent Jones later this afternoon. But I expect their budget to be in a surplus for this current year, and I'm sure it was last year as well.
I didn't, so my real intent of the question was for the uniformity and concisement of their budget, the line items that we're filling out and reporting, how do they coincide with each line item that we budgeted for?
It's on your last page. It's what's reported to the auditors on Fund 215 is what was reported to the auditors and what's cut out. Correct. And those are the numbers that are in the worksheet based off of the Georgia code.
No further discussion. We'll have someone make the motion to,
I make a motion to accept the report and allow the chair to sign.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Got a second? All in favor?
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Discussion of ordinance change for regular meeting times.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I just have a draft ordinance in the packet here. And what we got is Meriwether County Code of Ordinance in Chapter 2 establishes the county commission regular meetings. It calls for them to be held on the second Wednesday at 9 and the fourth Tuesday at 6. And staff's been asked to look at what actions would be needed to change the first meeting of the month from 9 a.m. meeting to a 6 p.m. meeting as well. Change that is going to require an amendment in the ordinance, establishing a few times, new dates, and again, the current meeting board meetings on Wednesday. I didn't know whether you guys wanted to look at a Wednesday night because that's church night for a lot of folks. So what we've got is a draft here that changes that. We need to take a look at the dates. We want to make sure that our attorneys who already have you know, other clients, other commitments, if we can choose a date that does not conflict with them, you know, where they can be here as well, and then we can update the ordinance if we need to make that change. It's pretty simple, really, ordinance change.
Well, I agree not doing it on a Wednesday evening, and I think it's great to have all of them on 6 o'clock. For years, before I even got involved in Cal Week and stuff, I always thought people go to work, they can't be there at 9 o'clock in the morning. If the Tuesday, it would be simpler if it's the second Tuesday and the fourth Tuesday of each month at 6 o'clock, if that would work. That won't work.
Not the second two, both of us have meetings on the second Tuesday.
So what would be,
We could do a,
Will that stop you from coming?
Huh?
Will that stop you from coming?
Yes, sir.
they both have meetings that night.
Not the Thursday, but the Tuesday, yeah, that second Tuesday, both of us have all
We
the
could do
meetings
it.
we've had for years.
Is there a reason it can't be on a Thursday
It'd be on Monday.
or a Monday? Well, is that gonna be hard for the staff? Well, no, not really, because you don't wait till Friday to get ready for that. If you got a meeting this week, you got 2 weeks to get ready, so, it's whatever the board wishes. Monday would work with y'all?
one thing on that is that I always hate to have a Monday morning 9 a.m. meeting because you don't have time to catch stuff. But we're gonna push it
No,
to
it's-
6, which
yeah,
should be good.
Yeah.
That works
I
for
do
you.
it, I don't have any Monday meetings right now.
Okay.
I got rid of my only Monday meeting.
Okay.
What's the
We need
board
to-
think about a Monday at 6 and then the fourth Tuesday at 6?
We need that, we might have to have a public hearing, this is not something, so, okay. If you guys wanna, if you wanna go ahead and make that move, you know, we can go ahead and do it. I can correct the ordinance here, just for the chairman's signature, and,
And Brian texted too and said if y'all discuss it tonight, he's for moving it too, and it helps with his, line of work
Which
also.
Monday are you talking about?
Second Monday and the fourth Tuesday, both at 6, correct?
Right.
It's already on the fourth Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right, it's
already-
Yeah, so that would be good, yeah.
all right, so we'll do the second Monday at
At
6
6.
o'clock. When do we wanna have that effective? October?
Whatever.
Whatever time it takes to.
Whatever it takes to get the ordinance changed and have it followed behind that.
Yeah.
Do we need to advertise? Do you need to public notice?
I mean, we may have a meeting that Wednesday
You
and
don't
then
need
that
to
Monday.
advertise,
That second
you know,
Monday.
changing, just net paper note,
Right.
not like advertising.
Right,
Okay.
Let the legal organ know.
That's correct.
yeah, yeah,
So whatever the timeline requires by law for us to set the date, that's when it'll start.
okay. All right, do y'all, I guess the question is, y'all want to make it effective on, September the 11th, or, well, September day, or do you want to, go on to October?
You just tabled something
The
today.
quickest, as soon as it can be done by law.
All right.
You just tabled something to September 11th.
Yeah, so,
Thanks, Scale.
Let's, I would recommend. that we
September
look at it as
24th.
October.
Well, you can also announce
Yeah, but
to
I'm
the
talking about
public
the
that your
meetings,
next
right.
couple of meetings, we're gonna be moving this meeting.
Right.
so it'll be effective October the 7th.
That's the second Monday.
in October's
No,
law.
that's the first one, October 14th.
October 14th, okay.
And make sure that's not Columbus Day.
Now,
We're not
just so
closed.
everybody knows, that will put some meetings back-to-back weeks because of the way the days fall. So that first October, we'll meet, second Monday will be the 14th, the fourth Tuesday is the 22nd. So it'll be 8 days later, we'll meet again. So,
You can do it the first.
Yeah,
Do
we
it the
can
first Monday.
Whatever one.
Yeah, let's,
Yeah,
First Monday.
all right, first Monday.
That gives me more time.
well,
That would help with my meetings
You-
as well.
You might go
there's
right
several
out in your
holidays
second
that
meeting,
usually
though,
fall
right
on that
into your
Monday
first
too,
meeting.
though, don't they?
sooner or later, that's gonna
Sooner or later,
happen.
you're gonna have to face that, but it doesn't matter to us. Whatever works best for you guys.
Just let me know.
Yeah. You okay on the first Monday, Tess?
Yeah.
I don't have any meetings.
Since there's a, but wait, let's think about this. There's always a lot of holidays, weekends, Memorial Day, so forth. Wouldn't we be better off to look at a Thursday at 6 o'clock if that works for them and then stay away from that?
It's up to y'all, you got 5 Friday weekends as well, and
Yeah.
then 6 1/2 of.
Well, if we do the second Monday, there's no holidays there. It's always the first Monday of the month.
If you
Very
do the
short
first one, so you
turnaround.
could end up with the same scenario.
Yeah.
8 days later or less, you could actually have, because of your fourth Monday or fourth Tuesdays on the last week of the month. you're gonna turn right around and have a meeting the next week anyway,
Yeah.
so it doesn't really matter. It's gonna catch you on that sometimes.
But if it falls on a holiday, we just don't have the meeting, roll it to the
Just
next
move the
one.
meeting.
Yeah, we'll just move the meeting.
Yeah.
So,
The only one that really should impact would be Labor Day.
Yeah.
and we'll skip.
Memorial Day's at the end of the month on a Monday, so it's.
Okay,
So we're gonna look at the first Monday at 6 o'clock and the fourth Tuesday at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
okay. All right, we can do it.
First Monday.
Effective October
Starting
7th.
in October.
October 7th.
Okay.
Good, thank y'all. That's an easy ordinance change too, so we'll have it registered.
We don't have to vote on anything today, we just vote on the
Yeah,
ordinance
we'll
when you get
bring it
it.
next time, y'all vote on it, and then you can announce it and all too.
So I'll bring it back. When we really don't have to bring it back until September, so I don't want to put it on that last meeting. That's up to you or the board.
Well, we want it till we can start announcing it, and telling everybody it's official.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I just put it on the next meeting.
Okay.
Just feel that. Okay.
All right, we move right on to number 5. We want to set a public hearing on August the 27th, 2024, 5:30 PM to set the 2024 millage rate and approve the 5-year history of levy Meriwether County Tax Digest.
Yes, sir. And what you guys have, if you have the information in there that's been published in the paper, you'll have a 5-year history with it. When we look at the rollback rate, you'll see a little note there. We're recommending reduction of the millage rate from 12.73 to 12.486 mills. With the growth of the digest, you're still going to see about a 9.77% increase in taxes. And that's going to equate to somewhere about $800,000 additional revenue based on just new growth. And what we'll have to do is, if you're going to increase over the rollback rate, you have to have 3 meetings and say we're increasing taxes or whatever. We're not recommending that. What we'll need to do is just conduct the 1 meeting. I moved it back to 5:30 because I know 6 o'clock's going to be busy, and I thought we'd go ahead and take care of that and get it out of the way before that 6 o'clock meeting starts. It should take just a moment or so. We'll have y'all's millage rate to discuss and adopt, and we'll also have the school systems that will be part of the packet and some other things that the tax commissioner will need us to sign. Because what she's trying to do is get a meeting scheduled with your Department of Revenue before September the 1st, where we'll meet all the criteria.
Can we have the school board millage rate on hand at the time we do the public hearing?
You will, because you'll have to have it, because you'll have to, in essence,
Prove it.
prove that. We can go ahead and get you that right away.
But with all the questions that are going on with property tax and the increases and things, make sure citizens remember, we got the governor rollback last year,
Right.
credit, and then that's not happening this year. So some increases are not real increases, you're just not getting the credit you got last year.
That's right.
And then also then, the impact of the school board millage rate is greater than what the county's millage rate is. And while we're doing an open public meeting, we need to be able to speak to both.
What we can do is we can go ahead, because they will have an advertisement in the paper at the same time as their rate.
Should be
Go ahead and make
Thursday.
a copy of that soon.
Should be tomorrow. Should be in the paper.
Do we know yet if their rate stayed the same or they're?
They're gonna roll it back. They're gonna use the rollback rate too. So
Do-
there's probably down there some slightly.
That'd be good, because they're in good position, so they need to help the citizens.
Right. And a lot of the things that earlier in the year, we had some real trailers and whatever, I know my property was quite good, but, with the float exemption that the county has, on the books, if you're homesteaded and your property value goes up, so does your exemption, so it keeps you about the same. So that's
you-
gonna have an impact.
Can you explain that in a little detail just for the citizens? Just take a few minutes to explain that, please. I think that's one of the largest misunderstandings of what's happening in the county and why it's difficult for this county to generate proper revenue. And then why some citizens that move in next door to someone else are paying more taxes than their neighbor, and they don't understand it, and they think we're derelict in our duty, or that the tax assessor's office is, when actually it's an act voted in by the citizens of the county. So if you don't mind, please.
Yes, sir. It's a referendum that the county passed, and there's 3 three jurisdictions in the state of Georgia, I think, that had it. Carroll County has it, Meriwether County has it, and I think Muskogee and Columbus has it. And what it does is it holds the intent is to hold the taxes. It came out of Proposition 13 in California and was pushed very hard in Coweta and some of the other areas as well. But what happens with it is it freezes the taxable value of your property if it's homesteaded property. You live there on your home, then that property value is frozen. If it goes up from the market standpoint, your exemption also goes up to offset that. So you're still paying about the same thing. And what happens a lot of times is that this whole state tax program is predicated on equal and fair. Okay, so they measure, y'all seen the ratio study where they measure to make sure you're here, and they measure to make sure everything's fine, you're not mistreating this group or whatever. And this really turns around and just does away with it. It doesn't matter. You still have the appraisals that are consistent, but your tax collecting ability, which is really what it gets to, is changed. So for example, if I live in the subdivision, I've been living there 15 years, okay? And Nathan moves in next door to me, and he buys his house now, and he files for homestead. What he is gonna do, our values may be the same, but mine may have been $100,000 when I bought it, now it's $200,000. So when he gets his assessment, it's gonna say 200, so is mine. But when he gets his tax bill, he's gonna be taxed on 40% of that, and I'm gonna be taxed on 40% of what it was when I initially bought it. So he may be paying on $200,000, and I'll be paying on $100,000. And until you change it, sell it, whatever, it stays that way. And that hurts it hurts the county in a lot of ways. You can't take advantage of any inflationary growth. I mean, what you have is you have land, you can, some things like that, businesses, but for residential property, you can't take advantage of inflationary growth. And also, I kind of think it's stymies your development sometimes because people say, well, I'm not going to build a new house. I'm going to stay right here and know what the taxes are. When if they build a new house, that goes in the tax digest. Someone else will come in and buy their house, and it kind of, keeps the economy going. And I think it's trouble. So, I mean, it keeps us from being able to realize the taxes and the true market value. And we fought against it in Coweta, spoke against it because it's just one of those things that sounds good on the surface, but in reality, long term, it's kind of a bad idea.
So to clarify a couple things, this was a measure that was brought before the voters in the 80s.
That's right.
That the citizens of this county voted to approve.
That's right.
The only way it can be changed is to be put back on the ballot and the citizens of this county vote to remove it.
Or be challenged in court and found unconstitutional. And it's actually been challenged, I think, in Muskogee and Columbus, and it was upheld.
Okay. I just want to make sure the citizens understand and are clear. And for an example, I built a house 10 years ago in the Warren Springs area, and I don't pay any more taxes for the last 10 years, regardless of that house has doubled in value in those 10 years, and I'm paying the same amount of taxes.
Yeah. And if you sold it to a friend of yours, moved somewhere else,
now it goes up to that value. I just don't think people understand that when they are questioning some things.
Well, to sum that up, it's called a float tax.
Right.
And there's only 4 counties in the whole state of Georgia that still has a float tax, and we're one of the 4.
The reason I've kind of researched it is because I work with you guys and I work with one of the others that also has it, so it's kind of like, that's why I did that.
Is that new house bill gonna change anytime?
The new House bill, yeah, and we put you guys some information in your packet about that. There's a new House bill that kind of freezes the increases to like 3%. But the reality is, if you have, like we do the float exemption, commissioners can make the choice, I guess, to keep that float. I don't know whether since the float was a referendum, I don't think we can take it away unless the other one gives the people a better deal, and it does not. So the float is better for
the citizens too.
Yes.
So in the question of, are we assessing property as legally prescribed, which is every 3 years? If we did it every year, in my example of my home, they can reassess my property yearly or every 3 years, which is a legal requirement. My taxes are not going to change.
No, I mean, they're gonna be
Thank you.
substantially the same because,
Of the floating homestead
yeah,
exemption.
of the floating homestead.
So I just want to make sure that gets out there on public record, and the people that are concerned about this and constantly commenting on this, and hopefully they'll listen and read, and it'll answer some questions for them. I'm not saying whether either side's fair or right or wrong,
Right,
but we need the information so we can make educated opinions.
absolutely.
Okay.
If it's not in Cougar, and it's, you know, if your property's not in Cougar, your land values can go up, but your house values can't change. But the land values can go up, but if it's in Cougar, it can only change like, what, 3% of the life of the contract?
So, yeah, so when we have that, we have a large amount of cougar.
About the second most in the state.
Right, I think so. And when you consider our parcel count, that's a lot. So,
That's another thing that keeps us on the poorer end of being able to collect taxes is the amount of that property, yeah.
the state, when they introduced cougar, well, this has been watered down. When they first introduced it, it was only like, you know, individuals and family farms. Now they've got it expanded out. They have the FLIPA, which is a federal program that uses it as well. It's just, you know, it's one of those things that sounds good,
Yeah,
but in reality, in long term, it's probably not good for your community.
right. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. So anyway, we just need to have you guys set that public hearing, if you don't mind, 5:30 on August 27th.
So I need a motion to set the hearing August 27, 2024 at 5:30 PM.
So move.
You got a motion, got a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor? Thank you.
If anybody has any questions on the data, between now and then, just call me. I'll answer you when I can. Okay?
The last thing under new business is to user agreement football field, Flint River Academy.
Okay, we have this is for, our recreation folks to be able to utilize the, fields of Flint River. And we had a few little changes, I don't know whether they're reflected on this or not.
They are.
They are, okay. The changes, really, kind of had us, leasing it for a 3-month period. And it was based off the lease that, was in place at the gymnasium.
Do we have a copy of that?
I'll make you a copy.
Okay.
I just
I
got
just
it
looked- okay.
last minute.
But anyway, it was based off that, and what we do there is we use it every day at the gym. So we have a responsibility and liability. On this one, we're only using it 4 or 5 times a year, so we didn't want to have the liability of it for the whole period. So through Allison, I contacted Nathan, and we made just a few changes to say that, we'll use this, and it's only when we are, on the field that we're responsible for it. We're not responsible for anything off of time or anything.
Copy.
Okay. So, and this is just a 1-year agreement. It just ends at the end of this year, just to allow football to be able to be played at Flint River. And our
This-
responsibilities is only when we're there.
This really came up about because we wasn't sure what school board was gonna do with the school in Woodbury, and we're making sure these kids got a place to play, and
Absolutely.
reached out to Flint River, and it's gonna be great. I think it'll be a great experience for the kids to be out there on a nice football field,
Yeah.
until we can afford to have one built for the county.
What was the cost of the lease? Did you,
$1,200
for the year?
for the year.
Okay. I
It's
missed it.
actually an expense per game. We just pay-
And then they'll get their concessions, the school.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
So,
So we need to vote on that?
yes, sir, we need to do that.
so I have a motion to go into this user agreement with Flint River Academy.
So moved.
Got a motion, got a second?
Second.
Got a second, all in favor? That'd be great.
Sorry to be so late. Just,
All right, report from county administrator.
well, I'm not really counting
I know
this,
you're
but
not.
I'm gonna give y'all a report anyway. How about that? So, I believe I got some things here I needed to just to mention to you guys. Since the last meeting, we had several things occur. We got some information in the city of Granville about the annexation. This annexation actually occurred about 2 years ago. I think they either thought they didn't get the paperwork out, or they were just making sure. This is a parcel of property in Meriwether County that really has no road frontage in the county. It comes in from, adjoining properties in Florida. I don't think there's any action for the board to take. I just want you guys to know about it. We'll make sure that the assessor's office understands it's in Granville and that gets coded as such. But it's just really notification. They went through the annexation process and we didn't have any more issue with it.
So, I guess I'm looking, so can we collect tax funds on that property?
We still would collect tax funds.
Okay.
Yes. City of Granville though, would
County
also
tax.
collect some tax funds.
Right, gotcha, okay.
It doesn't impact our taxes at all. So that's just really information for you guys. Attended the IDA meeting a little bit, and we worked on the millage rates. We got those all squared away. We had a little hiccup in the beginning. We got them done. We went through and we took the time to be sure that, our staff, because, some of us won't be here next year, but John has it down pat. Went through everybody understand how that calculation goes. We've issued an RFP on the new access road at Industrial Park. We got the bids out on the culverts and the bridge project we had. There's 3 culverts, I think, on the bridge. We've got answers to that. Questions on that comes about the 15th. There will be answers to questions on that. And Piedmont is working right now to estimate the dollar amount and start our patching program. And so here, very soon, you'll see some of these roads start to be patched and be talked about. So that's what I have. We do have some executive session items involving real estate and personnel. Talk to the board about it all the time.
You got anything to add?
Yes, sir. Like Darren said, attended all of the authority meetings this month. A lot of good progress is being made with them. Very, very happy to participate. The most time in the last 2 weeks, though, has been spent working on the immediate environment inside the courthouse. As Darren mentioned, we had groundwater infiltrating. We had water coming from the ceilings. Talked with a local company. They were able to get in there, put in some dehumidifiers, air scrubbers, and it has just made a tremendous difference. We've had a lot of compliments and very happy.
Yes, thank you.
To have the clerk be open and appreciative of all the work. Also attended the first day of school, the opening of the first day of school up at Unity Elementary last week. Talked with West Georgia Tech several times about the building across the way. Public Works has been doing a lot of work on private drives. As we're doing more and more work around the county, we'll occasionally get a call. Y'all hadn't been out here in years. Can you come do our road? And we'll do some research and find out that it's a private drive. So that's taken up some time. Reached out to USDA Rural Development about community facilities funds to have the conversation about building a new jail. There's a pavement preservation demonstration going on in the next week or so up in Fayette County, and we're going to try to attend that. Had a meeting with building in the first data center in Meriwether, to my knowledge. It's going to be right there in Gay off of Highway 85. And then there are a couple of work authorizations for the chairman to sign around the PPI KV AutoSys driveway. They need a geotechnical engineer to help us with the turn lane. All this rain and the bad soils basically have caused them a little bit of a problem. And then we also have the PINCO authorization to sign, just for a work authorization for the work that was done at the courthouse the last couple of weeks. And that is all that I've got.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Report from the county commissioners. Commissioner Collins?
Can
Oh, wait, excuse me, I'm sorry. Wait, go ahead.
1 second. I just want to make you guys aware of something.
Yes, please.
Southern Rivers has invited the board to their Southern Rivers Energy Board of Directors membership, and they're having their 87th annual members meeting, be August the 24th at Lamar County Fine Arts Center in Barnesville. And then also on September 11th from 11 to 1, on the front lawn of the hospital campus, Warm Springs Medical Center is having a first responders and public service workers lunch on the lawn.
What was the time on Southern Rivers?
Southern Rivers is August the 24th. And it's on a Saturday. It'll start at 8:30 a.m. That's all.
That's it. Commissioner Collins?
I just like to thank staff and all employees for the work they do and trying to keep the county moving forward, and, that's all I have.
I've just got a couple of things, and I just want to recognize that August the 1st, we welcomed a new business into downtown Greenville, Prosperity Real Estate, and attended their ribbon cutting, so it was a welcome opportunity to have a new business here in town. And then the other thing, the Airport Authority meeting and all, it was announced there's going to be a ceremony to recognize a Civil Air Patrol Congressional Gold Medal recipient, and it will be for Eleanor Bryant Walker, and the reception is going to be September the 28th from 2 to 4 at the Blue Hangar at the airport, and her daughter will actually be on hand to accept this award. So I think that'll bring us some recognition and all to the county, and the fact that it is a gold medal, a congressional gold medal, I think it deserves the honor, and would like to invite the public to participate if at all possible. So that's all I've got.
Mr. Ward?
Nothing new other than getting a lot of feedback from the good work on the roads. So thank everyone for that, and thank everyone for their continued efforts to drive the county forward. Thank you.
Same thing here. It's nice to see the good texts and emails from people saying thank you. I see them, they send them to Barry, they send them to the staff, and then they copy us on them. So it's really been a nice change in direction with the citizens and getting great feedback. Unfortunately, we're running out of money for gravel, but they are appreciating what we're getting done. And I meant to ask this earlier, but I don't know where it falls at, but I'm getting calls and complaints about our fire stations, grass 3 foot tall. I don't know if we can get a lawn care service that's a local business and support our local business and get someone to hit the fire station twice a month or what. But we need to look into that. There's just, I know the firefighters, some people, oh, they could do it, they're sitting around, but I wouldn't want them out there mowing in this heat and weed eating and nasty, and then the alarm goes off and they gotta jump on the truck and take off and go take care of a patient, and they look like they've been weed eating. So I guess there's opportunities they could, but if there's some way we can look at getting that taken care of, it represents us countywide when the citizens drive by and they see our buildings neglected or grass growing. Definitely with us wanting to have T-Splosh and get things going in the county, we need to show that we're taking care of our property. So whatever we need to do on that, staff-wise, if it can be done that way.
Take a look at that.
Just as a refresher and all, didn't we have a long contract at one time and all? It was for the airport, the covered bridge, the Lake Meriwether Industrial Park and all. So basically add to that and then contract that bid out.
They were,
I didn't know y'all had that, but
we did that several
really
years
cheap,
ago.
Really.
Yeah, and
In
it was,
fact, it was so cheap, when we first got it, we said, you sure you can do this? What they've done for several years.
yeah.
Well, I
We
would
did,
say grass and earth, they're really waist high.
that's what I'm saying, we need to focus on that. I think we use some inmate services sometimes on some of this stuff.
Yeah, we do.
You know,
And we have
but
budgets
that's
for that.
usually courthouse and here and some of these buildings and all.
I mean, looking outdoor right now, that grass right there outside this building, prior to our meeting today, isn't cut. You know, it needs cut, it needs weeding, it needs edging. So if we could look at, like you said, get the other company, whatever, Blue Blue would have to this time, put the list together of the fire stations, the buildings and so forth, and go, what would it take for the rest of the summer? During summertime, it's not that bad in the wintertime, it slows down, but this needs to be addressed. I get phone calls on it and I see it myself and I can't,
Yes, sir.
I can't stand it.
You need to do better than that, really.
Rather than that, thanks for everybody for all they've been doing and being patient with us, and I'm glad we're moving forward. So I don't have nothing else to say. County Attorney, you have anything you'd like to address?
The only thing, Commissioners, I'm pleased to report that you recall Calandra Tenney had filed a lawsuit against Tax Commissioner Ms. Cruz, claiming she was wrongfully holding office. We tried that case last week and we won. It was
Congratulations.
all right through that. So congratulations to Ms. Cruz.
Yes, congratulations to her and for the county. All right, we're going to go into executive session for
Real estate.
and personnel, real estate personnel.
Let's see.
All right, So before we make a motion to go into executive session, I'll go ahead and announce here the future meetings. Notices August 27th, 2024, special call meeting at 5:30 PM. August 27th, 2024, regular meeting will start at 6 o'clock PM. September the 2nd, 2024, we're closed for Labor Day. September 11th, 2024, regular meeting at 9 o'clock AM. And then we'll make a note again that starting in October, we'll be going to all 6 o'clock meetings. So if I have a motion to go into executive session,
So moved.
got a motion, got a second?
Second.
Got a motion second to go into executive session at 10:19, all in favor? Thank you. Have we got a motion to go back into regular session?
So moved.
Got a motion, got a second? Second. We're back in regular session now. Oh, got all in favor? We're back in regular session now at 12:14. No action was taken in executive session, except we do need to make a motion on that.
So, make a motion to release the tax debt on parcel 108-002-002, property that was relinquished back to the county.
Got a motion, we'll have a second.
Second.
Got a second, all in favor? That passed. Is there any other discussion or anything else that we need to mention before we adjourn?
I'll need to get that.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I got a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all in favor? We're now adjourned.